So let's talk about The War of Art. This book by Steven Pressfield is amazing. And one of the things he talks about is the reason there's such a war to create art is because of resistance. So what is resistance? Resistance is really our own fear turned against us, and it shows up like procrastination, dilly-dallying, editing forever, and resistance is really the enemy, and Steven Pressfield puts it so beautifully in this book. Resistance is invisible, implacable, impersonal, and it's not out to wound you. It's out to absolutely destroy your creative power. So it must be taken very seriously. I'm going to read you a little passage from this amazing book just to inspire you. So this is, resistance is fueled by fear. Resistance has no strength of its own. Every ounce of juice it possesses comes from us. We feed it with power by our fear of it. Master that fear and we conquer resistance. So this is one of the reasons I'm really urging you this week to lay down these solid habits of being a writer. Again, we talked about how forming a habit is just 3 things according to neuroscience. It's the trigger or the cue, it's the behavior, and then it's the reward. So this week I want you to focus on the trigger. Have a consistent time for writing. Choose a trigger. Maybe it's your morning cup of coffee. When you get your coffee, then you know it's writing time. Or maybe it's some other trigger, but choose a behavior you're already doing and then use that to trigger the desired behavior. This week we're not going to focus too much on how much writing you get done, but then we're going to the third step is the reward. I was speaking with one of my clients yesterday, and this is a woman who loves rewards and loves playfulness and loves joy, but she had not set up a reward after writing. So it can be as simple as a dark piece of chocolate. It can be as simple as, yay, I did it. Or it can be maybe playing a bit of music and then, dancing up and down. So the reward is a key part of laying down those habits. And why am I emphasizing this so much? It's because resistance gets stronger at the ending. So right now you may be loving writing, no problem at all. But when you lay down these habits, you become a professional. And by becoming a professional and having those ingrained habits and having the identity of somebody who writes, then when it comes time to show your work to somebody else, when it comes time to complete your creative project, you will inevitably get hit with resistance, and it's your professional habits that you've laid down that will come to save you at that point in time. I'm going to read you just a little bit about what Steven Pressfield has to say about that, which is very powerful on page 18 of this book. Resistance is most powerful at the finish line. He says, the danger is greatest when the finish line is in sight. At this point, resistance knows we're about to beat it. It hits the panic button. It marshals one last assault and slams us with everything it's got. The professional must be alert to this counterattack. Be wary at the end. Don't open that big bag of wind. Steven Pressfield, amazing book. I'm Aurora Winter, the author of Thought Leader Launch and several other books, and I hope that you decide to really lay down those habits of being the professional writer this week. Create those triggers or the cues, so you want to piggyback on a habit that you already have, maybe when you come back from the gym or after you take your shower or when you have your morning coffee, something that you're already doing regularly every day, and then the behavior, and then don't forget the reward, something to acknowledge, yay, you did it. All right, stay tuned.